Hey, we are now getting some more information on the major changes to the food stamp program, the SNAP program, the EBT benefit program, otherwise known as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, some of the major changes, the ramifications to this program, as well as the beneficiary of these changes, what all this happens to be, and how this could impact more than just the beneficiary in a big way. Again, I'll break that all down for you here in this video. I was just reading a whole bunch about this. It's actually very interesting because there's a little bit of this trickle-down effect when it comes to these food stamp benefits. It's not just getting money and affecting the beneficiary. It's impacting many different facets of local communities and the beneficiaries. It's very interesting. Anyway, I'll break it all down for you here in this video. Now, as also mentioned in the title of this live stream, I mentioned a $2,400 shocker. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that as well. That's a totally different topic, but I want to allude to that as well, discuss the details. That'll come a little bit later in this live stream. We're going to talk about a lot of different things here in this live stream. Let's jump into it. Okay, so let's first start out by talking about food stamps, EBT, SNAP benefits, Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, food assistance, again, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. It's all referring to the same thing. But anyway, here's what's interesting. About, well, almost 2 months ago now, when the OBBB, the One Big Beautiful Bill, was signed into law on July 4th, not January, July 4th of this year, when it was signed into law, within that, there were some major changes to the SNAP program, right? We've talked about these many times before in other videos. After it was signed into law, before it was signed into law, I was back in many videos and in live streams at the time saying, hey, just get ready for this. These major changes are going to impact a lot of people. Well, now some more statistics and information is coming out around that, and just want all of us to be aware of this. Now remember, you probably heard me say this before in other videos, but let me just point it out super fast. There's about 42 million people currently receiving benefits from the food stamp program, right? It's about 12-ish% of our population, roughly, give or take a little bit. 42 million people, or I should say households, more like 42 million households that are receiving benefits from the SNAP program. It's a huge percentage of our population, if you think about it. About 12%. It's about 1 in 8 people that get these, okay? So it's a lot of people out there, or households, I should say. Okay, anyway. But with that, there's been some new information that was released. In fact, the Urban Institute has projected that out of the 42 million households that receive these SNAP benefits, the food stamp program, about 22.3 million of these households are going to see either a reduction or a complete elimination of their benefit because of these changes that were implemented as a result of the OBBB, right, that was signed into law almost 2 months ago now. Now, here is one of the little silver linings, okay? I know there's not much within it about this, but I can say this much. A lot of these changes, as in that were implemented, the work requirements, and some of these other major changes to the SNAP program that I've talked about many times before in other videos, a lot of these will not be implemented until 2028, okay? So basically the end of the year 2027, they need to be implemented basically by the beginning of 2028. So if there's any silver lining here, it's basically we've got a couple of years of just basically kind of no change, but they will start implementing these. But what's interesting about it, and again, I've alluded to this and I've mentioned this before in other videos, which is they didn't really give a solid timeline for the most part of saying, hey, you must get this done by this time. They basically just gave some vague generalities and some vague kind of like time frames to say, hey, you should probably get this done by this time frame. Obviously, the interesting part about SNAP benefits is that they're federally funded for the most part. Okay, that changed a little bit as well. States are going to start bringing on some of the expense of SNAP benefits. But anyway, let's just call it mostly federally funded, but they're state administered and state managed. Point being is that every single state is going to be different. Some states are going to drag their feet until the very last minute to implement these changes, which is good for the beneficiary, good for the overall local economies and things like that. And then some states will implement these probably as soon as they can. Okay, so that's kind of the interesting part about this, and just a lot of moving parts out there. But again, I'll keep you posted on all this as we continue to move forward and as we learn more about this, but that's one of the situations, okay? So anyway, as I just mentioned, according to the Urban Institute, 22.3 million of the 42 million households, it's a huge percentage, right? That's more than 50%, more than 50% of the households will see either a reduction or a complete elimination of their SNAP benefit because of some of those changes. Okay, now again, I just want to throw this out there. I'm not here to discourage anybody. I'm not here to upset anybody. I'm here to bring you facts and what's out there. Okay, now here's another part of this that I want to point out that a lot of us probably haven't thought about. A lot of that money, well, okay, like the vast majority of SNAP benefits, where do they go? Where do they go? Well, most people that get SNAP go to their local grocery store, which is like 2 miles, 5 miles, 7 miles, 10, 12, 15, 20 miles or whatever from where they live, right? Generally, kind of like one of the closest stores that they go to that offers groceries, generally gets the bulk of that money. Okay, so not only is this going to impact beneficiaries, but it's also going to impact local grocery stores and local economies in a massive, massive way. In fact, just last year alone, according to these reports, $124 billion was spent at local grocery stores from SNAP. That's nuts, right? Obviously, not all of that came from SNAP. But $124 billion of spending was basically injected right into these grocery stores. Well, guess what? If they break this down a whole bunch and if they eliminate this spending by, say, like 20-ish%, it's a lot of money that these local grocery stores are not going to be seeing, like the tune of like 23 billion or so, $24 billion that they're not going to be seeing because of some of these changes. That's big. That's a lot of money that's not making their way into the stores. Now, what else is interesting is the more I read about this, they broke it down and gave some sort of percentages as far as where that money goes. Of that $124 billion that is hitting grocery stores because of the SNAP program, about half of it, about 50% of that money is going to big box retail grocery stores like Walmart's and the Targets of the world. Like, obviously, there's more out there than that. I'm just pointing out some of the big ones that we would all recognize. But about 50% of that money goes to them, right? The big box stores. However, about a quarter of the money makes its way into local grocery stores, the little hole-in-the-wall corner grocery store that we all love so much because they have the unique items. They probably have better pricing. The owner probably works there. You probably know the owner. I mean, really, right? You probably know that person. And you want to go to a local grocery store a lot of the times because, hey, who doesn't want to support like a local grocery owner that you know, hey, Bob down the street owns the grocery store on the corner, right? Let's support Bob and his family. I need to buy groceries anyway. Why would we support the big box stores? Let's give the money and the business to Bob, right? Again, I'm just making up the word Bob. I'm just saying. But you get my point, right? Why not support the local guy or local family, local woman, business owner that has a grocery store trying to make ends meet, right? So anyway, it's going to impact these individuals in a massive way. We're talking tens of billions of dollars, obviously distributed across the entire country, but these local grocery stores, these smaller grocery stores, are really going to feel the impact of this. Now, a survey that I was reading about as well, conducted across these grocery stores across the entire country, have found that these local, smaller grocery chain stores, or just, one-off stores here and there, have been talking about a couple different things. Number one, raising their prices. Why? Well, to account for this, they need to make up the difference somewhere, so they need to maybe raise their prices. Not only that, talking about raising their prices to compete with some of these online or e-commerce grocery delivery services. By the way, have you ever used Amazon Fresh or Amazon Grocery, right? It's crazy. My wife and I, we've ordered from them a couple times. That's not where we do our shopping, just to be fair with you. We've done it a couple times because you get like a coupon or something. It's like, hey, try us out and we'll give you like $20 off or something. We're like, I love saving money, right? I love coupons. I love deals. So we're like, yeah, sure, let's try it out. It's nuts. You place an order and like 2 hours later, it shows up. It's like, that's kind of freaky, right? Didn't have to do anything. You just literally like open your door or like walk down to like the main lobby or whatever, and you're like, hey, you got my groceries? And they're like, yeah, they're sitting right here. It's pretty interesting, right? So these situations, again, are pinching these smaller grocers like this. And again, across the board, we may see some major impacts from a variety of different reasons. Again, the online grocers, the e-commerce grocers, as well as the SNAP changes, the reduction in SNAP expenditures, and families and households getting less and less. We're going to see all of this kind of pinching these individuals, okay? Now, here's what else is interesting about this. The more that I was reading about this, obviously, there's a lot of people that live in rural areas that may not have a big Walmart superstore or Target. What do they call them? Super Target, I think, right? They may not have one of these huge big box retail grocery stores, right? But rather, they have these smaller grocery stores. The risk that we face here is that, hey, if we've got a small town, a small city, whatever it happens to be, and the population is, I don't know, a few thousand people or whatever, again, I'm just making up numbers here, it may only have one main grocery store, right? It may only have like one. There might be a couple other smaller ones, or maybe like gas stations that offer a little section of groceries, something like that, but you may only have like one main grocer in that town. Well, these are the individuals that are potentially at risk. And again, what would that do for the residents in the town as well as surrounding areas that rely on that small town grocer to go and get their regular, weekly or monthly food from them, right? So we could see some major long-lasting impacts of this, more than just the beneficiaries, losing a portion of their benefit or completely having their benefit eliminated. Kind of interesting. I was going down a little bit of a rabbit hole reading about this, and I thought, this is kind of ugly, right? This could impact benefits. This could impact beneficiaries. This could impact local business owners and grocers. This could impact complete towns and little rural areas that rely on this. So anyway, just want to point that out for you really quickly. And again, the silver lining that I said earlier, it's not much, but I'm going to say this much, which is at least we've got a couple years here. Well, about 2.5 years, give or take a little bit here, before technically a lot of these major changes need to be implemented. Obviously, some states are going to implement them sooner. Some states are going to wait until the very last minute to implement these. But at the end of the day, they will be implemented. Okay? Now, as long as we're talking about SNAP, I'm actually going to make a dedicated video about this next topic here because I think this is super interesting. I was just reading about it. It would take me a while to memorize all the information that I want to share with you. So that's why I want to make you a dedicated video about this next little topic here. But because I'm going to pop something up on the screen for you. I was reading it literally right off of the USDA website, okay? So the USDA website. I was just reading about this. Super interesting. A lot of different details and moving parts about this. But as of right now, we now have 12 states that have been granted waivers from the USDA to basically eliminate the purchase of all kinds of interesting things like soda, energy drinks, snacks, sugary candies, and snack items, and all kinds of random stuff, all kinds of random things. But here's what's interesting about it. Each individual state on the list that has been granted a waiver, like I said, there's a dozen states on the list as of right now. By the way, there's going to be significantly more to come. But as of right now, there's 12 on the list that have had these been granted these waivers. But my point being is that I was just reading through it on the USDA website, and each state, again, making it even more confusing, which is why I'm going to make that video for you and pop it up on the screen so you can see literally what I was reading and what I was looking at right on the USDA website. But each state that has been granted a waiver has a different effective time frame. In other words, when it starts. Some start January 1st, 2026. Some start January 15th, 2026. Some start March 1st, 2026. Some start July 1st, 2026. It's like, what? It's so confusing, right? There's a lot of different time frames. But anyway, not only that are the time frames different in which when they start, but also they also have different restrictions. Like, for example, some states may restrict the purchase of, say, like soda and sugary candy. Okay, fine. Some may just restrict the purchase of sugary drinks and energy drinks. Okay, that's interesting, right? And again, the list goes on, but there's all kinds of different categories as far as what they're eliminating. And again, when those effective dates will be coming in. So if you're located in one of those dozen states, I've mentioned them before in other videos. I don't remember the whole list off the top of my head right here. It's a few of them: Florida, I think Oklahoma, Idaho, Arkansas, Colorado. What are some of the other ones? Ohio, maybe Ohio was on the list. Anyway, Texas is on the list. Florida, I'm not sure if I said that or not. Again, there's a dozen of them. I don't have, again, off the top of my head at the exact moment here, but I was just reading about that. And again, stand by. I will make you the dedicated video, and I will pop that up on the screen for you so you can see it. But yeah, something you certainly want to be aware of. And that list will continue to expand. Again, a dozen right now. I anticipate that to expand to probably close to 25-ish, give or take a little bit. Probably about half the states eventually will have some type of restriction on any of the following: sugary drinks, soda, energy drinks, candies, dessert items, things like that. Okay, so just stand by for that, and yeah, I'll keep you posted. Okay, so that's that. Now let's talk about the $2,400 shocker that I mentioned in the title of this live stream, and at the beginning of this live stream as well. I also alluded to this and said, hey, I'll talk about this $2,400 shocker and where this is all at and what this is coming from. Okay, now again, I read a lot of stuff every single day. I would say the vast majority of what I read every day, I don't even talk about in my videos, because I just read it because I want to know what's going on and I want to provide as much value to you as I can in these videos. But there's just a lot of interesting things. Now, I'm going to point out a website for you as well. I was poking around on this website as well today, and I thought, oh, this is good stuff. I should make you a video about it. But if you want to read about it, I'm not totally nuts, okay? But as far as some of the things that I say. But anyway, the $2,400, a report was just released today. These tariffs that have been implemented, okay, we all know about the tariffs, right? The whole tariffs and the, oh, don't worry, everybody, we're not paying for the tariffs. It's China, and it's Germany, and it's India, and it's all these other countries. Don't worry, we're not paying anything. It's them that's paying it. No, sorry, false. That's not true. We are paying it, right? We know that. Again, I've gone off on rants before in other videos. You know how this goes. They're not paying it. We are paying it. At the end of the day, the end consumer pays tariffs, and that's us, okay? We're paying the bulk of it. Okay, fine. Maybe they absorb a tiny bit of it in margins. No. But for the most part, we are the ones paying for that because we're the end consumer. That's just how the world works, unfortunately. And so anytime that they continue to try to gaslight us and say, oh, no, they're paying, don't worry, there's no inflation, just trust us, and they're paying, they're going to pay all of it, right? No, false. We are paying it. But anyway, a report that just came out today is showing that we collectively, on average, the average household, the average family, the average person, again, household is, I guess, how it's technically being defined, the average household is going to be paying an extra $2,400 per year just because of the tariffs. Welcome to America, right? Anyway, don't get me wrong. This is a great country. It's a really good country. We're so lucky to be living here. All I'm saying is that, seriously, come on, right? This is a very bad time to be implementing a $2,400 basically burden on everybody right now when people don't even have any money. It's nuts to see this. So anyway, that is the average. Obviously, every single household is not going to be on the hook for an additional $2,400 exactly, right? Obviously, some households might be on the hook for, say, $6,000 more, depending on their spending habits. Some other households might be on the hook for $116 more because of tariffs, right? But again, it all averages out to the average household seeing an increase of $2,400 in their expenditures just because of the tariffs. And how does that calculate? Well, obviously, that comes out to be $200 more per month across the board on everything. Food, clothing, whatever, just anything. Anything that has gone up in prices because of the tariffs, that's where that comes in. And again, when you think about it, $200 per month, it's not that hard to achieve that, right? I mean, if you're buying groceries once per week, that's 4 times per month. If you're buying, some of the other different things, you wouldn't really have to have a huge increase in price on just the average product or item out there. It wouldn't really need to be a whole lot to really rack up $200 more per month in expenditures, resulting in $2,400. And again, like I said, that's the average per household. Some will pay significantly more, some will pay significantly less, but it's all dependent on spending, what people are buying, things like that. But that's what the report is suggesting. So, yeah, not what we need right now, right? We need the opposite of that. In fact, we need something more along the lines of, hey, we've cut prices so much, the average household is going to be saving $2,400 a year because of the diligent work that we've done, negotiating prices lower, bringing inflation down, fixing supply chains, manufacturing, whatever it happens to be. I don't know. Whatever it happens to be, we should be on the opposite side of this equation saying, hey, we've done such a great job that we are actually reducing expenditures for the average household by $2,400. Not, hey, check it out, we're all going to have to pay $200 more per month on average, $2,400 a year, because we're implementing tariffs, right? So anyway, so anytime that we continue to see all this talk and the implementation of tariffs, just think of it this way. Every tariff, every percentage that keeps going up is just more money, just like being siphoned out of our pockets, okay? And again, I'm not here to like scare anybody. I'm not here to discourage anybody. I'm just here to tell you what I'm reading about and what I'm seeing out there as far as what's actually happening. It's pretty interesting, right? Okay, now I want to point out that website that I alluded to earlier. Okay, so if you've been watching some of the videos here over the last, I don't know, month or so, I've said this many times over the last several years, but in maybe the last month or so, I've gone off on a couple of different rants talking about this, which is some of the different economic data that we receive, most notably like the inflation data, the CPI, Consumer Price Index, as well as the jobs reports and all these other data points that come out, the PPI, the Producer Price Index, many of these different economic data points that we watch very, very closely that help us determine our finances and how much is going to be impacting us and flowing back to us on hitting our bottom line and hitting our income and stuff like that, and really affecting our living standards, things like that, and obviously our cost of living adjustments as well for any of us living on a Social Security benefit, anything like that. When we continue to watch these numbers that come out, I've been saying this for, again, the last month or so, I've gone off on a few rants about this, saying these numbers are so manipulated, it is nuts. And I've actually had a few people come back and say, can you show proof of that? Like, can you prove that these are manipulated? No, I can't prove it, but it's not that hard to figure out. I mean, just literally go out to your stores, look at the pricing on the shelving, take note of it, come back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, and look at the same products and be like, hey, something seems weird. I'm pretty sure those prices have gone up. Look at your receipts over the last year, year and a half, 2 years, 5 years, whatever it happens to be. Have the totals on the bottom of your receipt gone down, stayed the same, or gone up, right? I think for the most part, a lot of us buy basically the same thing week in and week out, month in and month out as far as grocery items, right? Not sure about you, but we buy like the same things all the time, right? It's just the same old stuff. But why does the price keep going up? We're not like consuming more, right? So yeah, exactly. It's called price increases, inflation. So anyway, I've been saying that these numbers are so heavily manipulated, especially with the firing of the BLS commissioner. What was that? A month ago now, almost a month ago now, after we got the July jobs numbers on August 1st. The president came out and fired the BLS, the Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner, citing bad numbers. Hey, if this person is literally just reporting the truth, then why did they get fired? Seems very fishy to me. Why would you fire somebody reporting the truth, right? I don't know. Tells me that, hey, you didn't cook the books enough and you didn't juice the numbers enough, therefore you're fired. You're out of here, right? So, wow, let's put somebody else in there that can really juice up the numbers for us and make it look like, things are way better than they really are. Same thing goes with inflation. We continue to see conflicting information, right? Some data comes out, like the CPI that we just got, 2 weeks ago or so. Actually, it was on the 12th of August, so whatever that is, 2 weeks ago in a couple days. We got that number out, 2.7%. Oh, wow, looks, decent. But is that really what we're experiencing? A 2.7% increase in price on a year-over-year basis? I don't know about that. Seems a lot higher than that, right? But anyway, there's a website, and again, I was looking around on this quite a bit today, Shadow Stats. Look at it if you want sometime. You don't have to pay for it again. No, this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I was just looking around it because I'm very fascinated about it. But anyway, there's a website, Shadow Stats. Look at it. You do not need to purchase anything. There is like a paid option for subscription on there. Don't do that. You don't need to. Just read through it. It's very interesting. But basically what it is, it's a website that gives like the real data. It literally shows like, hey, this is what things are really looking like. This is where real inflation actually is. This is where jobs really are. It shows the real statistics and the real numbers that are supposed to be reported, but yet they're actually not, right? So again, it's all smoke and mirrors. In fact, the more that I dug into this, there's actually suggestions that say inflation is actually running 4 to 5% higher than what is actually being reported to us. Well, what I just stated a second ago, which was the July's inflation data came in, again, like 2 weeks ago, back on August 12th is when it came out. That data came in suggesting a 2.7% inflation on a year-over-year basis. But yet, the numbers that are out there, suggestions, are saying that we're likely sitting 4 to 5% higher than that. That would suggest about a 6.7 to 7.7% annualized inflation rate. Do you think that's more in line? Probably. I mean, realistically. And again, obviously, it's all collectively aggregated across different different products and things like that. They don't just look at one product. They don't just walk down the aisle and pick off a package of bacon and be like, look, bacon went up 1 penny this year. That's the inflation rate. No, they take thousands and thousands and thousands of products, they put them together in a basket of goods, and then they average it out, right? So something might be up, say, 22%. Something else might be up 0.2%. Something else might be up 8.1% or whatever. And they average it all out across all of these different products. And that's how they come up with these CPI numbers, right? So interesting. Anyway, really going down some rabbit holes here and really digging into this. It's very, very interesting to see like, how much all of this is really manipulated. I don't really know how else to say it. But it's pretty obvious when we just look at real life and what's actually happening, the finances of the average person that's out there, and what we're seeing in our store shelves. And again, I don't need to sit here and tell you this over and over. You get it. I see the comments down below all the time. In fact, quick little side note, I posted a short. Okay, I don't post a whole lot of shorts. Like, I do it every so often, but I posted a short this afternoon. I think it was around maybe, I don't know, 2:30-ish or so East Coast time, give or take a little bit. But anyway, the title of that short was something like 145% plus Social Security plus surprising. I don't know, just what I thought of for the title. But my point being is, in that short video, it's actually a clip out of a long form video from a few months ago, but it's super interesting. It's about a 1-minute clip of me talking. And in that video, I'm talking about how over a specified period of time, prices on goods and services have gone up 145%. 145% just in the specified period of time. That's nuts. So as a Social Security or SSDI, SSI, VA, retirement, survivors, spousal beneficiary, any of these beneficiaries that get a cost of living adjustment, you would assume the COLA keeps up with the annual cost of living, right? Obviously, so that's what it's supposed to do. Therefore, over that same period of time, as I suggested in that little short clip, the prices would have gone up 145%. Therefore, our COLAs would have also gone up 145% to maintain parity with the cost of living, right? You would assume that. That's what it's supposed to do. But guess what? Not even close. Not even close. In fact, I accidentally cut the clip off before I wanted it to. I didn't mean to do that. But at the end of the clip, I was just about to say how much our COLAs have gone up over that same amount of time. Our COLAs have gone up 83% over the same period of time. The prices on goods and services have gone up 145%. So what's the discrepancy there? Let me see if I can run the math. 40, what did I say? 145, 45, 55, plus 8, 63%. Yeah, 63%, give or take a little bit. I could be off there. It's kind of roughly ran some math. But anyway, 63% is the discrepancy. So in other words, we're getting stiffed by 63% as far as the raise to our benefits, as far as what they should be, but they haven't been because they've fallen behind the real cost of living and how much prices have actually increased. This is why I've said so many times before, the COLA that we get is a joke. The inflation data that we see that is reported to us is a joke. It does not actually reflect real price increases, real price adjustments in the real world and in the real economy that all of us are really experiencing. Therefore, over long periods of time, 10, 15, 20, 25 years or so, when we look at these long periods of time, we see these massive discrepancies like this, an 83% increase to our monthly benefit, which honestly sounds really good until you compare it to the difference of 145% increase in actual prices. And then you feel like, oh, actually the 83% increase is actually not good at all. That's a 63% discrepancy that we should have received in our monthly benefit. That's nuts, right? In fact, as long as I'm going off on a rant here, let's talk about the video that I posted. Was it yesterday morning? I think it was yesterday morning. Yeah. What's today? Thursday. Today's Thursday, the 28th. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was yesterday morning that I posted it. In that video, I was talking about some information that was released out of the Senior Citizens League. Again, big advocacy group. They focus on Social Security, seniors, people with disabilities, basically anybody receiving benefits administered by Social Security, right? I've alluded to it's the TSCL, the Senior Citizens League. Great group of people out there, huge advocates for Social Security, love what they're doing, really good stuff. They've had some really good stuff out lately. But anyway, in that video from yesterday morning, I was citing some information, and I popped it up on the screen for you even in that video, which was, they came out and they found that the average beneficiary should be receiving $4,442 more per year because of the COLAs that we're not getting. In other words, lackluster COLAs have basically stiffed us by $4,442 a year. What is that on a monthly basis? I'm honestly not sure. I'll have to run the math on that. If I did it in my head, it would take me a minute. I don't want to sit here and need to have you watch me try to calculate in my head right now, right? But anyway, $4,442 for the entire year is how much the average beneficiary should be receiving more in our monthly benefit, or I shouldn't say in our annualized benefit, because of the COLAs, but we're not. Again, talking exactly about what I alluded to just a minute ago and what I was referring to in that short video that I posted this afternoon, 145% increases on prices of goods and services. Meanwhile, the COLAs have gone up 83%, a 63% discrepancy. That's a lot of money that people could really be using. Now, I know that I'm going kind of crazy here, but you know what? I'm going to keep going because I have more thoughts, and the more that I talk, the more that I get jacked up here, and the more that I just want to keep going on this. Okay, what was I just going to say? I totally forgot. Oh, man, this is bad. Oh, man, I just want to say something else. What was it? I shouldn't have said that. Dang, now I forgot what I wanted to say. It was good. It was really, really good. Man, it just slips away. In fact, have you ever listened to Earl Nightingale? I listen to this personal growth stuff all the time, right? So, because I'm just trying to be better, right? I just want to be better. I feel like I'm always behind. I feel like I'm just I'm always trying to chase and trying to catch up, right? I just feel like I'm always behind the crowd. Anyway, it's just it's bad. It's something I really struggle with. Anyway, I listen to Earl Nightingale and all these different personal achievement people like this. But anyway, one of the things that Earl Nightingale says, write stuff down. It's like a slippery fish. It's like a slippery fish. If you don't gaff it with a pencil right away and write it down, it's going to slip away and you'll never get it back. It's like, dude, is that not true or what, right? Literally, just like what the little thing that I had going on that I wanted to talk about, and literally just totally forgot about it. In 1 second. Great idea, wanted to talk, and now I just totally drawing a blank on what I wanted to say. But anyway, so this is what we're dealing with right now. Okay, so just want to point that out for you really super fast, and yeah, exactly what's happening right now. Okay, so anyway, if you're jumping on right now, a quick little recap. At the beginning of the video, I was talking about some of these major changes coming in to the SNAP program, food stamps, EBT program, and how these major cuts to benefits, as in reducing benefits for households and basically the elimination of benefits for about 22.3 million households who will see either reduced or eliminated benefits. It's not only going to impact the beneficiaries, but it's going to impact local grocers. It's going to impact local economies. And we're going to see a lot less money flowing into the local grocers, which, and you might be thinking, who cares? They're business owners. They're rich. No, they're not. I can tell you this much. A business owner is not as rich as you think, okay? Business owners are probably living a nightmare. I'm just telling you, okay? Being a business owner is not like glory and whoa, my life is so good. I would say most business owners are like FML, if you know what that means, This is not fun. This is not fun at all, right? They're like sleepless nights, just trying to make ends meet. It's not nearly as glorious as a lot of people think. They are so grateful for every single person that walks through the door and spends any money within their establishment. They are grateful for every single penny that they can get just to come in, because obviously a dollar spent in a store is obviously not a dollar of profit. It's probably like 20 cents of profit, maybe at most. I mean, seriously, right? Probably not even that much realistically. But anyway, so we're going to see a lot of these major impacts of these major cuts, not only to the SNAP program, but we're also going to see major ramifications to local markets, local grocers, and we may see price increases, as I alluded to earlier, just because of this, because these local grocers need to compete, and they need to basically stay in business. And if they can't have, if they don't have the money coming in that would have been spent in their stores, well, they kind of need to keep the lights on for their local, their local populations and their towns and stuff like that. So these big box retailers, they'll be totally fine. Honestly, who cares about them? They're totally fine. It's the small people. It's the small business owners. It's the small grocers on the, the corner in a small town, stuff like that. These are the ones that are going to be impacted the most. And I talked about all of that at the beginning of the video. Again, if you're just jumping on right now, check out the first, 10 or 15 minutes of this video. It's actually pretty interesting. I talked about all the details there. I honestly don't want to get into it in a ton of detail here again, just because it's kind of a lot, and I don't want to break it all down again. But check that out. And then, again, a quick little recap, consistent with the title. And again, I talked about this, a little while ago, which is the $2,400. I was reading a report today suggesting that the average household is going to be basically stuck with an extra $2,400 of expenditures per year. Again, the average household, because of the tariff impacts. In other words, price increases on virtually everything across the board. And the average household is going to be shelling out an extra $200 per month, or $2,400 for the entire year, just to pay for the impacts, the price increases on the tariffs as it flows back to us, the end consumer. And again, we may not have seen all that yet. Okay, we certainly have not seen that. I'm going to tell you that much right now. We have not seen the major impacts of the tariffs quite yet. It's still going to trickle in. And that's kind of one of the major discrepancies that we're dealing with right now, which is we don't know exactly when all of the major impacts of the tariffs will actually be felt yet. We don't know as far as when those price increases will be fully implemented, when those price adjustments have fully been baked in and spread across everything. That's not done yet, and it's not going to be done for a while. Probably through the rest of this year, we will continue to see incremental price increases on a lot of different things that we are buying until retailers finally get a clear picture of what's going on with the tariffs and how much they really need to raise their prices to account for all of that. So we're going to continue to see this for probably several more months, right? So yeah, it's a very weird time right now. Okay. Anyway, I said this yesterday in the live stream. I'm going to say it again super fast. I continue to get questions about this. SSI, Supplemental Security Income, only SSI beneficiaries. You get paid tomorrow, okay? I can't tell you how many times I've seen that in the comment section saying, are we getting paid? When are we getting paid? I heard that Social Security is getting paid tomorrow or, Friday or whatever. SSI gets paid. SSI gets paid tomorrow. Social Security, you do not get paid tomorrow. SSI, Supplemental Security Incomes, gets paid tomorrow because the first of the month is Labor Day. That's this coming Monday already. And you're not getting paid on Monday, but rather you're getting paid tomorrow, okay? And again, I said that yesterday. I had a video out a few days ago talking about that. I know you know that. I'm just pointing it out again because I continue to see questions rolling in on this. And I'm just want to point that out, okay? If you're Social Security, you get paid, the payment schedule that I talk about all the time, right? And again, it changes all the time. So what is it? The 10th, the 17th, and the 24th. The 10th, 17th, and 24th. That's what it is for September. Okay? Just want to throw that out there super fast. All right, anyway. Whatever I wanted to say earlier, I still have not thought about it. I have no idea what I was going to say, but it was good. It was going to be another rant. I was excited for it. I got talking about something else, and I totally forgot about it. I don't know what that was. Dang. I was excited for that one. That was going to be a fun one. I just don't remember. I don't even know what I was going to get into, but it was good. All right, anyway, let's leave it at that for now. I hope this helps you. Again, just want to come back. There's just so many different things here that I'm reading about, so many different things that are going on right now. I just want you to be aware of what's happening. And again, just let me know what else I can do for you. Drop some comments down below. Okay, drop some comments down below. Let me know if there's different things you want clarification about, questions you have that you want and me to clarify on. No problem. Just let me know. Not a problem. I can certainly make dedicated videos. I can jump on a live stream. Whatever you need. Let me know. Not a big deal. Okay. By the way, it's not on the screen now. It's not on the screen now, but in most of my live streams or in most of my videos, you'll see me say things like that. Hey, the phone number right there. Obviously, there's no phone number there right now. Or I'll say, hey, phone number right there. There's no phone number right there right now, right? So, but anyway, the phone number that usually is on the screen in live streams and in videos. Again, if you're one of the 70 million people on Medicare, I'm just going to spend a little bit of time about this. And again, I see a few comments down below here and there. I know that some of you hate hearing about this, but here's the thing. It's 100% free. I have nothing to sell you whatsoever, okay? It's 100% free. And the major impacts that I've seen changing the lives of people here in this community from making a quick free phone call is very awesome. I don't know how else to say that. It is very, very cool. In fact, I just got another comment today. Who was it from? What was it? Vikings Bear, I think it was. Vikings Bear. No, Vikings Bears. Vikings Bears left a comment. That person, I'm not sure if it's a man or a woman. Either way, Vikings Bears, thanks for reaching out. They reached out to the phone number. Again, it's not on the screen right now. It usually is. Just look for it on the channel here, the phone number to chapter. But anyway, they called, and they're saving $1,000 after a quick phone call. Again, $1,000. Who wouldn't make a 10, 15, 20-minute phone call to save hundreds of dollars a month or $1,000 for the year? Who wouldn't do that? I don't know. Maybe you hate money. That's okay. If you hate money, that's fine. I love money. I would 100% pick up the phone in a second, and I would do that, right? So I'm not sure about you, but I would absolutely do that. I love saving money. I love discounts. I love coupon codes. I love getting a deal. I'm asking for a deal on literally everything. Why? Why not? I continue to get rewarded by asking for deals, so that's why I do it. I continue to get deals because I keep asking for deals. It's nuts. I ask for a deal on everything. People get so sick of it. But I ask multiple times even, because a lot of times they say, oh, no, we don't do that. Really? You don't give a discount? I'm sure you do. Oh, I think we can do 10%. Exactly. That's why I ask a second time, because I know that I can get a deal most of the time, right? So anyway, point being, the phone number is not here right now, but I will put it down below in the description. I'll put a pinned comment down at the top of the comment section. In fact, there may be a pinned comment at the top of the chat right now. I'm not sure. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. But the phone number may be there. Call them. If you're on Medicare, if you're one of the 70 million people on Medicare, just give them a call. See what they can do for you. Maybe they can do nothing. That's the case too, right? They can't help everybody. I'm just being fair with you. They can help a huge percentage of people. Not everybody, but a lot of people that they're helping are saving a lot of money. In fact, yesterday, huge shout out to Ed Fitzgerald. Ed Fitzgerald from San Diego sent me an email. He is saving $170 a month, $170 per month after calling them. That's about a little over $2,000 a year because of a quick phone call. I'm not sure about you, but I'm thinking Ed Fitzgerald is probably pretty happy. That's an extra $170 a month that he gets to save and do whatever he wants with, buy groceries, save whatever he wants because of a quick phone call. $2,000 a year. You've heard me talk about Ken Johnson. Ken Johnson reached out probably a month ago. After he called them, he's saving $174 a month. Miriam McGee saving $100 a month or $1,200 for the entire year. Harold L. saving $79 a month or about $1,000 per year. What are some of the other names? I've seen a whole bunch of names reaching out. Those are some of the names that I can think of off the top of my head that gave specific dollar amounts as far as how much they've saved. It's nuts. A lot of people saving a whole lot of money. Okay. Today, what was the guy's name? Michael Lindy, I think it is. Yeah, Michael Lindy reached out today. I think he said $116 a month for Michael Lindy. What is that a year? I don't know. $1,500 a year that he's saving, again, from a quick phone call? I don't know. again, maybe you don't want to save money. That's fine. If you don't want to save money, if you hate money, then don't call them. but if you want to save money, if you want to free up some bandwidth and see what else you can have as far as better coverages, more savings, things like that, just call them. Phone number's down below. At the top of the chat box, I think it's there as well. Otherwise, it's in basically all the videos lately. It's all over on the channel. I'll pin it down below at the top of the comment section. It'll be in the description a little bit later. And again, I totally understand. Some of you hate hearing about this. Some of you are sick and tired of hearing about it. I'm right there. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to talk about it, but here's the situation. When I get comments literally every single day from people like today, Michael Lindy, $116 a month, about, what is that, $1,400, $1,500 a year. Ed Fitzgerald yesterday, $170 a month, $2,000 plus a year. Vikings Bears, I think it was yesterday, or was it today that reached out? $1,000 savings. That's about, what is that? I think it's $83 a month, again, savings. Again, when I see these comments, I feel like my commitment, my duty, my promise to you here in this community for all of these years that I've been making these videos, almost 6,000 videos, by the way, I've said I'm going to do whatever I can to keep you informed of what's going on. I'm going to point out anything that you can possibly grab or take advantage of, money, benefits, raises to benefits, savings of money, anything like that, stimulus, anything, I'm going to point it out for you. Well, there's a couple different things you can do. Number one, you can raise your income. You can increase your income. Well, as somebody living on a fixed income benefit, how easy is it to increase your income? Can you just call up Social Security and say, hey, I need more money. Can you raise my benefit? They're going to laugh at you. They're probably not going to laugh at you. They're going to say, I'm sorry. We don't do that here, right? They're not going to do anything. Okay, so now that increasing our income is not really that much of an option, the other option we have is, well, the only option, save money. Right? You got two options, save money or increase your income. Increasing your income is not really an option for a lot of people. Therefore, we need to default to saving money. How do we save money? Well, cut expenditures. Find different ways in which we're paying too much for something right now. And that's exactly what chapter will help you do. All right, anyway, just call them if you want to. But again, if you don't want to, then absolutely do not call them. Okay, if you don't want to save money, do not call them. If you want to save money, make sure that you're properly protected. Make sure that you have the right plan, the best coverages for you and your situation. Then give them a call. Phone number's down below. And again, make sure to leave me a comment after you do. Drop a comment on any video. Use the word chapter within your comment. And let me know how it goes. I'll feature you in an upcoming video. I'll give you a shout out and a community post like I've been doing virtually every single day as well. And yeah, keep those comments rolling in. It's awesome. I love seeing how much money people are saving. That's really, really cool to me because I love saving money. So I think it's, I think it's really cool when I can help people save money. And again, I'm just pointing it out. That's all I'm doing. I'm literally just giving you the fish and saying, here's the rod and the reel. Here's the hook. Here's how you bait the hook. Just cast it out there and just catch some fish. Not that hard. Just do it. I'm literally showing you what to do. It's free. Just take advantage of it. That's all I'm doing. Okay. All right, anyway, I think my rant fest is over for now. Maybe, unless I think of something else real quick here, right? But anyway, let's leave it at that for now. I hope this helped you to some degree. As always, leave your comments. Drop some comments down below. Your questions, whatever it happens to be, let me know what I can do for you. I'll come back in future videos, separate live streams, whatever. Not a big deal. Yeah. All right, anyway. The phone number is down below in the chat box. Otherwise, watch for it down below in the description or at the top of the comment section. Otherwise, just check out any other video here on the channel. You'll see the banner usually right there. I go like that. The phone number, or in live streams, I go like that. Otherwise, on the channel, you'll find the phone number there as well. And then again, make sure to leave me that comment. Use the word chapter, and I'll give you a shout out. All right, anyway, if you're new here, please subscribe. 100% free. Big subscribe button, I think, down below. I'm not sure where it is on live streams. Feel free to share this. Otherwise, check out any other 6,000 or thereabout 6,000 videos on the channel. Check those out. Share any of the videos. And again, share the phone number with Chapter for your friends, with your friends, family members, neighbors, acquaintances, siblings, coworkers, anybody that you know that's on Medicare, that has questions on Medicare, turning 65 or retiring, confused about Medicare. Just give them a call. Anybody. Share that phone number with them. By the way, after you share it, leave a comment down below. Use the word chapter in your comment. Let me know who you shared it with, and I'll give you a shout out as well. All right, anyway. All right, yeah, if you're still joining me right now, I'm just going to say this much. You may want to click off now. I'm just saying, okay, I'm going to turn this off. It takes a second. My phone's going to start talking. It's kind of weird. But anyway, if you're here right now, you may want to click off now. You don't have to, but I'm just saying if you want to, go ahead and do that. And we'll end this here. All right, anyway, please have a nice day. Thanks for watching this. Really appreciate all of you. And I'll catch you again later. All right, anyway, click off now because here we go. Talking begins. Finish.
Are you sure you want to stop singing? Cancel.
Yes.